Okay, come on, give me a kiss.
People love my blowjob face.
It's a dictionary of dicks. What's wrong with this?
And mostly when I play, I'm like, I'm blowing shit up.
We have a self-jerking machine.
That's hot.
Aw, Mario, stop touching me. I'm your brother Luigi.
Pre-recorded live from across these great United States. Sometimes you like to play with other things, but let's play with ourselves.
Everybody, and welcome to the podcast of the Let's Play With Ourselves. This is episode number 29, I think. And take it away, Paul.
You were right. You had everything ready. Like, we've done 29 of these. I never remember what number it is, and I hardly ever remembered to say the name of it. And I think I was the one who came up with the name of the podcast.
You did. But see, that's why you keep me around. I'm a parrot. Let's play with ourselves.
That's why you're eating all my damn crackers. How have you been?
Thinking about them crackers. I've been okay. I got a new job recently, which makes me get up at ungodly hours. And you know the cool thing about that is I don't have to deal with many people. And when I drive to work, I see like 20 mices walking across the street, and it's so adorable. I saw 2 raccoons last time, and then 2 coyotes, 1 deer. When you're driving to work, it's interesting. Okay, you never see raccoons during the day. There's an ant on my. Oh my god! I'm not really wearing that much right now, and an ant is on my. Get off! What the fuck? There's more. There is more than one. I can't believe you sit there laughing while I'm
sorry.
Violated by ants.
Are they gonna pick you up and take you away?
Mm-hmm. They'd be like, take you to our queen.
They're like, you're sweet like sugar. See, now we're going to eat you and turn you into whatever they do.
They sound like I don't know, like the narrators of really old serials, like Elliot Ness and his friends go to a speakeasy.
You're probably too young to have remember it, but is there any chance you've seen the old show Grizzly Adams?
No, unfortunately, but I've heard of it.
All your stories are like that, like you're a mountain woman. You're like, I saw a cougar, and I saw some raccoons, and I helped birth a bear today, and then I went to work. It's like, damn, girl!
Went to work where I carved wooden, fucking sculptures of Paul Bunyan.
Some people carve pumpkins, you're like, I carved damn redwoods. Pussies.
Mm-hmm. And then we, burn them.
What?
Well, it's an offering. So the god of where I live, the god of Nevada, doesn't rain his wrath.
Is that Gambler?
Gambler? Oh, yeah. So one time a guy from California came in here and he's like, wow, your slots are so loose. And then he immediately caught fire. And then rattlesnakes jumped out of the deck of cards on the table and bit him. And then a Native American guy came up and pulled the headdress off of him and he stabbed him in the eyes with the quills.
Maybe I'm not going to Nevada anytime soon.
Oh, you can come to Nevada, just don't.
You had me at the loose slots, and then the rest went all horrible.
We got loose slots, and loose belts. So if you are gay...
Oh, I thought you meant like if you eat a lot, because I have been...
Oh! Well, then we have that too. The buffets here are cheap.
Back during Thanksgiving, I was like, I can overindulge, it's the holidays. And then during Christmas, I'm like, I can overindulge, it's the holidays. January, New Year's. February, Valentine's Day. I've seemed to find a lot of holidays since now, unless Thanksgiving.
Do you buy yourself, like, pretty chocolates on Valentine's Day?
No, it's sad, no.
Oh. Well, I'll buy you chocolates next Valentine's Day.
Next Mumble Day.
Next Vava Day. We used to say Vava in place of vagina when I was a kid.
Do you kids talk about vaginas a lot?
No.
Oh.
But people were like, so where did he touch you? I can't.
Oh, that's horrible.
And that's really dark. But yeah, no, I live in bear country. Oh my gosh, dude. What the fuck? Oh yeah, what I meant to say is, like, it's been Disney, like a Disney cartoon in my front yard lately. I've seen like 5 hummingbirds at once at the feeder, and they're really cute and all that. And my brother found a dead hummingbird where he works, and he brought it home in a cup. Don't ask me. But it was hilarious because this is, you don't really see them up close or able to touch them because I poked it, and it was way beyond rigor mortimus. So the funny thing about it is that they have tongues, right? And they're not in composition. They're not like, what do you call it? Butterflies' tongues, but they kind of look like that. And it was the most hilarious thing ever because he just got this, like, dead hummingbird and its tongue, like, the beak is closed, but the tongue is like bleh! Like it's comically hanging out of its mouth, like, I'm dead, and all it needs is X's on its eyes. It was hilarious. I just looked at after I killed that bat, I'm a changed woman.
I was gonna say, because you start with don't you love how cute hummingbirds are? And I was like, do they go a lot? And then you were like, and then we play with the dead one.
We didn't play with it, although it is funny because my brother, he put it in this, like, little cup he found at work, and I was like, whoa, and then I started, like, when you have a drink in your cup or glass and you're, like, kind of swigging it around, I was trying to do that with the bird so it would move. I'd be like, look, Derek's not dead. That's the name of my brother, by the way. Daddy Derek. So
that poor bird. You were
saying
dead.
It was dead. It's not like we killed it. Although I feel really bad because apparently he just found it on the asphalt, and I was just like, oh, that's too bad. That's that ass's fault.
I just hope when I die, people don't put me in a giant cup and start poking me and spinning me around.
Oh. I
guess I probably wouldn't care. I'm going to be dead, though, at that point,
Yeah. I mean, what would be really funny is if it came back to life while we were doing that, and it just flew into my face, cut my eye with its beak, stab right through it, and then we have some visual effects where I pull the bird off of my face, and the eye goes, and I'm like, I insulted the god of Nevada. Gambler, please have mercy on me. Yeah, once or twice I've considered moving back to California. Not anymore.
To escape the wrath of Gambler?
No, I considered it, and then, like, I was all, I'll stay here. And then Gambler she, I think it's a girl, she has still not forgiven me for my straying. Please, Gambler. Yeah, so, new job, pretty nice. I get paid more than the sales associates. Fuck you guys. 25%. I always say that. 25 cents more. I wish it was 25% more. That'd be great. But yeah, I'm early morning stalking shift, by the way. I go out and I stalk young women. Sometimes, man, and I get a lot of money for it. Michael's is constantly looking for customers. And that's what I'm there for.
Is that the craft store or just some guy named Michael's like, hey, can you find some people for me?
Big Michael's Arts and Crafts. It's a knockoff. No, yeah, it's Michael's Arts and Crafts. You go there and there's a ton of fucking old women. What's crazy is that you don't think this would happen, right? Because I work on weekdays. But as soon as we open, like, on the fucking dot, like, I'm not usually at the front of the store. I'm, like, in the back doing something. But a couple times I've been at the front stocking items. And before the store's even open, there's like 3 or 4 fucking old women hanging outside the store. And when we open, they just whoosh, they're like, oh, Lucinda, look at these fake flowers. And then they come up to me and they're like asking me questions. I'm like, oh, hold on, I'm new here. And then I use the radio. I'm like, help me out, fucking help me. They're everywhere. And then pretty soon the whole store is filled with old people. It's really weird. Like, I didn't expect that to happen so early in the day.
I guess when you're retired, you have a lot of time to do things like that.
Yeah, get up early. Well, it's not that early. It's like, we open at 9. But still. To just hang out. Like, do you really have nothing else to do besides hang outside a store? Because they literally will just stand there as if... You know how people are like, oh my god, the PS4 is coming out, and they're like standing outside of stores and stuff. This is like, oh my goodness, Gabriella, they're releasing the new Styrofoam. I can't wait. Oh, that new associate is there. I just love to sneak a peek at her. My lord, my stars. I should not say lord. I do not want to take his name in vain. I'll pay extra on Sunday.
I don't know. Like, what would you do if you were retired? I mean, like, honestly,
Kill
I would
yourself? I don't know.
Well, you've solved the problems with the underfunding of Social Security for the future.
Oh, seriously. Well, it's my scheme. I tell everyone to do it, and then when I retire, I'm like, haha, I got your money. I'm evil, you see.
Put it in a big vault like Scrooge McDuck.
Mm-hmm. Woo-woo.
Odds are...
Danger. Fine. Yeah, okay.
That was you phoning it in. DuckTales.
I was gonna do his voice, but I don't know how to do his voice. I
He's not a
can't.
vampire. He's Scottish.
Yeah, well, like, vampire... Scottish vampire. Ah! It's the new Twilight. And it takes place in Glasgow.
If
Look
I
up
could do an
Sparkle.
accent, I would run with that. Like, just be like, you wee little shit, fuck off. Like, this isn't much of a love story. He hit her in the face.
Oh, it's a better love story than Twilight. Overused meme, y'all. Check it out on every fucking YouTube video ever. Comment section. Except for mine, you won't find it there. Or Paul's.
I don't know. I probably have. I'm pretty sure one of my visual novels, somebody has written that before.
Probably. Yeah. But, you know, that's kind of a given because the visual novels are like, most of the time they are like some sort of love story, I guess. Right? Snuff.
I had a viewer kindly ask this week for me to do a visual novel, and it's by a guy I've done a lot of his visual novels, but this visual novel is one of his earlier works, and I actually started recording it a while ago, and I stopped because it's not really solid. Like, the first third is really good, and then it just drags.
It's soupy.
It's just boring drags.
It's not solid, it's soupy.
I want soup now. And so the person was like, will you LP this? And I'm like, no, it's not one of the stronger pieces of work. I love his work. And then they're like, why not? I'm like, did you not read what I wrote?
They're gonna start that was their second like chance for you. Now they're gonna start sending you threatening letters. I don't know how threatening. I don't know. I've never written a threatening letter in my entire life, so I'm not sure how they would go. I'm thinking about it starting little, like, you know, little by little, and then it gets worse. Because anyone can write, "You're going to die." P.S. Die.
Well, judging by your hummingbird story, you start them really cute and nice, and then they take a drastic left turn and be like, I love spending time with you. I'm going to spend the rest of my life with your corpse.
Well, does that really, like... I don't know. I was thinking more like threatening your life.
That's not a threat.
Well, it seems like a threat, but not like...
not a threat?
Well, just... You don't
If somebody
get
says
it.
that to me, I'm going to be a little worried. I'm not going to be like, oh, what a compliment. They like my company.
Well,
Sometimes I'm desperate enough where I would, but still.
That's me all the time. And then I send people messages, and then they never talk to me again. Because I always forget to push send, and I'm like, why won't they reply to me? That's like my number one horrible, like, shortcoming with communication. I always forget to send things. I'll write the most, like, heartfelt message, and I'm like, oh yeah. And then I'll get kind of paranoid when it's been a while. I'm like, why haven't they said anything? Did I say too much or what? And then I'm like, oh, you doofus, you didn't even send it, you silly belly. And then, well, usually it's too late, like, context-wise, it's not current anymore.
Last night I was texting with Gamerpixie. I think it was last night. And she texted me something that
It wasn't last night, it was another woman. No, it was last night.
So I was texting her a joke back, and I hit send, and I didn't hear any response. And after 15 minutes, I'm like, all right, I'm going to start recording an LP. 15 minutes later, I look, and I had, like, lost phone signal for, like, half an hour. And I'm like, now what do I do? So she never got it. Do I just hit resend, and she's going to get the joke half an hour later when it's not relevant? Or, it's like, I'll just resend.
You know what's funny is I got the joke twice at the same time.
Oh.
So I thought that was pretty funny, because I was like, oh, just in case, because, you know, I am kind of a slow person. Paul was considerate enough that just in case I didn't get it the
Yeah,
first
I didn't mean to send it twice. It wasn't like desperate. Respond to it. Is it funny? Validate me, please.
It happened at the exact same time. Like, my phone was just like, and then I was like, oh, what? Because I didn't know it would do 2 messages with 1, so usually it does it. Are you cringing yet?
No.
I can hear you cringing. Yeah. It was a joke about being pretty, right?
No.
Shoes? Yeah, it was.
Well, it doesn't really matter, but Gamerpixie said something about having a bad day, and I was like, I'd feel the same way if I were I would feel the same way if I were in your shoes. I did a great job of it now, as in then.
Urine shoes.
Ew.
I'd feel bad in urine shoes. Like, who wouldn't?
So I was like, I'd feel bad if I were in your shoes, and then I'd ask myself, why am I in ladies' shoes? And like half an hour later response, it doesn't really work as well. It's like...
It happens to the people that it happens to. I was gonna say the best of us, but I'm not really a best. So, enough about my odd doings and crazy psychotic craziness. How are you?
I've been grumpy. Like normal. I'm an old grumpy man now. Like a week ago or something, I got an email on YouTube where some copyright troll was trying to claim my stuff, and I went through all the processes of, dispute filing, appeal filing, and then YouTube was like, in 7 days, if you don't pull back your appeal, they're going to give you a copyright strike. And I'm like, are you kidding me? They already get like 2.5 months to fuck me over. They get an extra week. So Wednesday I was supposed to get the copyright strike, and it didn't come through till Thursday. So Thursday I had to file all the counter notification against the trolls. And what it has to do is the counter notification's got to go to YouTube. YouTube looks at it, then they send it to the other people. And then they have 10 business days to notify YouTube that they're going to sue me, or my video goes up. Because right now it automatically gets taken down the moment they want to issue a strike, regardless of the fact they haven't proven anything.
Yeah, that is really, really, that doesn't really make any sense, and it's pretty asshole-ish.
I agree. And so I was grumpy, not because of that so much, that's normal, and I get grumpy because it's bullshit. But I filled that out Thursday, and YouTube has not gotten back to me yet. Because usually they get back to you to be like, okay, we've read it and sent it on. It means they won't do that till Monday or Tuesday, so it's going to be like 2.5, 3 weeks where this video is going to be down, assuming they don't try and sue me, which they're not going to, most likely. Usually these guys are trolls, and they just walk away when you fight them back, but...
That's fucking stupid. What video was it?
It's a short clip of GTA 5. It was when I was streaming it on Twitch, something funny happened, and I put the clip on YouTube, so... It had been up there for maybe 1.5 years or something with no problems, but you know how the system is.
Well, I don't know what to say besides, what's new? What's new with the tubes?
True, same old, same old. And other than that, I've not been doing much. I LP'd some MLB The Show last night, making those dirty tug dick videos. Oh my.
Oh yeah. I love me some tug dick. I gotta put some James Dye up there, and then just talk about tug dick. I'm still kind of peeved that that's not a multiplayer game or online.
It is head to head, but yeah, the show mode is not.
Yeah.
I so wish it was. That would be so cool. I'd love to be out there in left field and have other people playing other positions.
That would be hella fun, but alas, no. Because I'd like an excuse to get our characters together.
That would be super cool.
It would. Well, see now I'm actually really bummed that doesn't exist. Oh, come on. Who made that game anyway?
Sony.
Oh, jeez. Cool.
This week I've also been looking into, maybe at the end of the year I might get a new computer, a PS4. And I've been really disappointed by the PS4 games, because most of them I'm not interested in, or they're on PC too. Except for MLB The Show. That is a Sony exclusive. So if I want to play that in the future, I've either got to keep PS3s until they get it off the PS3, which I don't mind. I'm going to have my PS3 forever. But when they switch over to just the PS4 version, I might have to buy a console just to play that game, because I love that game.
Yeah, you will be forced, if so. Too bad they didn't have it for the PC. It would be really fun. But that's how they get you. It's a PS4 exclusive. Hey, boo-boo.
Have you been working on any new games?
Well, yes. The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, which is funny because when I play it, I can't say the name right, the first time I say it. I love it when you're like, that was a good recording, and it's not that it wasn't, but when you finally get all the sounds synchronized and stuff, and then you play it from the beginning, you just go to yourself, you smack yourself in the face because you're just ugh. Because the first thing I say is, hey guys, it's Pixie here with the Varnishing of Ethan Carter. What the fuck?
I like that. It's like some sort of woodshop thing. Now we're gonna sand the chair. We'll put the dolls in there. Next time, the varnishing with Ethan Carter.
It's just like clips of them.
It's your new
talking.
PBS show. On Saturday afternoons, people can watch it.
Oh yeah, some kid is gonna be hanging off their couch, really tired. Some homeschooler. That's me. That's what I used to do. I used to watch PBS all the goddamn time, and my mom was like, "Yeah, it's educational." I got away with watching 4 hours of television a day, all at the same time.
Like Arthur, or like what kind of stuff? Like I always loved watching Nova. I used to watch I'd say crap out of that, but that's probably a horrible analogy.
I watched the Black Hole out of Nova. No, I didn't. I never watched Nova. Wasn't that on like later?
Yeah, that was in the evening.
Yeah, I would watch because I'd get up really early. I would watch. Let's see. I would watch Sesame Street, Between the Lions, Arthur. Between the Lions was really good.
Yeah.
Arthur, Sagwa, and Yen Ken Cook. And what else? I think Happy Trees was on as well, but I don't really remember much of that. And there's a couple other... Oh, Zoom? Does anyone remember what Zoom is? That was a weird show. Remember, it's for the people... I know Paul probably doesn't know, but anyone... I'm sure someone listening knows who that is.
Was it a science show?
No. But
Oh.
Bill Nye wasn't PBS, was he? I thought he was Disney, so was he Disney Channel?
No, I thought he was on PBS. I don't remember, to be honest. You might be right. It might have been...
Yeah. Because
I do remember watching Bill Nye back in the day, though.
Mm-hmm. I only watched him on tape, because that's all I remember having him is on tape. And then there's another show that I watched on PBS. I watched Antiques Roadshow. I like that show. That was fun. People would come in and be like, my grandma treasured this. In fact, it died in her arms. Or she died with it in her arms. And they're like, it's fucking like $5. And then you just see them shatter. Like,
Wait.
It's got a lot of sentimental value.
So most people are like, wow, that's worth a ton of money. You're like, I like to see the despair when they find it's worth nothing.
Well, no, I love seeing the old people who are like, they can't get too excited or they might like have a heart attack or something, but they're just like, there's always a cute old guy who's like, yeah, my great grandfather had this. They're like, this would cost $250,000. And you can always see the old guy like, my gracious, they're like getting flustered and stuff, and they're adorable. But I was trying to think of the other show I was watching. Wishbone. Wishbone was on.
I liked
PBS.
Wishbone.
Me too. I liked the dog. And that was about it. Because as a child, I was kind of a dumb kid. Like, I don't know. I definitely had a learning disability. Like, and I'm not saying that, like, like, no, I'm being serious. So the way I took in information was very weird. But yeah. Yeah, so I just had to put in a little... I'm dumb there. Because I was like, that's going somewhere. No, actually not. Oh, and Keeping Up Appearances, but that didn't play till later with Hyacinth, Mrs. Bouquet.
That so doesn't fit with the rest of everything else you just mentioned.
I know, but I mean,
my dad would love you for that. He loves that show, but that doesn't fit with, like, Arthur and Between the Lions and,
there was other cartoons. Oh, Dragon Tales. Me gusta el dragano. I wish with all my heart to fly with the dragons in the land of art. That's what they said.
Is it the land of art or in land apart?
I don't know. I always assumed it was art because they had pictures of dragons on the wall that ripped off decals. Was it a land apart? A land of art?
I thought it was apart, but, like, I've never, like, looked up the lyrics. Or it's not
Me
lyrics,
either.
but the chant. Isn't it weird these little kids were like, hold the holy scale and recite after me?
They're like, what is that scale even, like, made of? Is it really a scale? What is this? But, you know, if they went to that place, like, it can't be too evil.
I did not like that show because the twin dragons were so annoying.
Were so annoying. Yeah, no, they really were. The girl, she's like, ha-ha! And she's all, like, doing that shit. Remember? She's like...
Yes.
And he's like, I don't like my sister. When I try to please myself, it pleases her. Oh, that grosses fall out. Oh, I just remembered another one, too. Clifford. Clitford. Oh, so much her.
I like
The
how it's
big
become
red
reminiscent.
dog.
I remember reading those books in school, but I didn't watch the cartoon much. That came when I was a lot older, though.
Well, the show was kind of, I don't want to say it's new, but when I was younger, it was, like, newer than the stuff. It was newer than Arthur and Between the Lines and stuff. I think it was actually newer than Sagwa, which was a show about a Chinese cat. Do you remember that?
I
With the
didn't.
bat?
I saw it like once or twice, not because I watched it, but as an adult, just flipping through the channels, and like I didn't know that was the name of it. But I remember there was something with a Chinese cat running around and stuff.
With the foolish magistrate, which is something you'd hear a lot in that show, which I don't remember. All I remember is like weird episodes. I love it when you're a kid and you just pull like information, really fucking weird information. Because all I remember from that show is one episode where her brother did the whole, "Oh, I'm hurt, so you have to be my slaves," and then she caught him, and he like was really bad at lying again for some reason since he was perfect at it before. And then my brother like started, he was like, "Oh, you remember that show?" And he started like quoting it, and I didn't understand what the hell he was talking about. I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Don't you remember that part of the show?" I'm like, "No." I remember at the end they said, "This is something brought to viewers like you, thank you." And then they always have that twice, and they're like, "Viewers like you." And then they showed the characters for thank you, the Chinese characters, and some child, I guess, was like, "Xie xie." And I was like, "That's how you say, xie xie. That's how you say thank you in Chinese." And I got up and I went to my mom and I was like, "Mom, can you hand me that glass?" And she's like, "Sure, sweetie." She handed it to me and I was like, "Xie xie."
What did she say?
"What are you, a communist?" And then she fucking pulled off her belt and smacked
No,
me
your
silly.
mom is a lot nicer than that.
Oh, I forgot. I was talking to a different mom.
Oh.
I said, "Mom." I used to do that as a kid. It was weird. Like, if I hung out with someone long enough, like, and I was, obviously when you're younger, this you can get away with this, and people are like, "Aw." I'd call my friend's mom, and they seemed to think it was cute. If I had kids, and I guess I would think it's cute, sort of, but I'd also be like, I would probably make jokes about it, be like, "No, no, 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 you're not my kid. Ha ha, I don't want to pay money for another kid." Something's creepy about it.
You're nicer than me. If like I had kids and their little shit friends called me dad, I'd be like, "I ain't your dad."
It's like, "But I don't know my dad. Can you please be my dad?" "Your dad left for a good reason. Now get out."
Do that.
Yeah, you would. That'd be funny if you said your dad left for a good reason and then you said "get out," but you were in their house. So you're like, "Get out of the house, Bimmy." Jimmy and Bimmy. Yeah, well, whatever. I remember I used to suck my thumb, and my friend used to suck her fingers. We sound so sexy, but we're little kids. So.
I was gonna say, I thought you're gonna say your friend sucked your thumb too. I'm really good with words today.
She sucked your tongue. Grr. No, you're beautiful.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You're like, you're special.
Well, you're like, I don't think so, but I like hearing it anyway. But we used to, okay, so we both did the whole, like, we had our bankies, and we would suck parts of our body, and smell the blankets, right? And her mom didn't want us to really do that, but she wasn't a bitch, you know?
So you'd huff blankets as little kids?
Dude. Yes!
Hey, this blanket's great, man, you gotta try it.
Well, we wouldn't go and breathe it in. No, we'd be like little like bunny sniffs, you know. And well, where the fuck was I, Paul?
You're like, we didn't inhale the blanket. It was all right.
Yeah, all those harmful chemicals. See, that's probably why I have a weird voice. Been smelling blankets since I was 12. Shit. Oh, okay, yeah, she didn't want us to do
Since
that.
you were 12, so you were 12 years old with your blankets. Smelling them and sucking. You said 12 just now.
Yeah, but I didn't suck my thumb.
Oh.
When I was 12, I didn't even like carry a banky around, and it wasn't a banky. I went through like 2 banskis, and then I had like security blankets. I have like a security blanket now, and it's really funny because it's not one of those I can't sleep without it. But if it's not in bed next to me, I don't freak out, but I know it's not there, and I kind of feel like it's like if you wear earrings all the time and then you went out and you didn't wear earrings. You know, it's not like bothersome, but you're all, hey, this isn't here. So it's very interesting. It's a blanket my mom made when I was like not 13. She made it for me when I was like 14 years old, and she crocheted the entire thing. So it means a lot to me. Shut up, Paul.
I'm not. I think that was sweet of your mom. That was nice of her.
Whatever.
I have something
Judging
your mom
me.
made, so.
Oh. Oh. She made him a bag made of bags, and she made sure to tell him it was a bag made of bags. Like, she thought it was so funny. She's like, I capitalized bags, so he knows it's made of bags. And she wasn't, being serious. She was just like fucking around. And I was like, that's pretty sweet. I just dropped something. So, god dang, I had a story here. It's not even gonna be as good anymore.
You were hanging out with your friend, sucking fingers and smelling on blankets.
Yes. And her mom didn't like it when we did that, but she wasn't, like, trying to stop us or anything. And I was gonna say she wasn't, like, a bitch about it, but she kind of was, but it was more funny. What she would do, and it was kind of, it created a tense atmosphere when you were sucking your thumb and you were too close to her. Because what she would do is, like, I don't know how she did this. She was really, really, really fast. We would kind of pretend that we were smelling our blankets, and we'd put it over our hand, and we suck her thumb because we didn't want her to know, because she'd kind of nag us. And what she'd do is she would, like a viper, she'd just, boom, like, really quickly grab our hands, like our wrist, and yank our hands away from our mouths. And since we're sucking on our, like, finger bits, our teeth are pretty close to that part of us, so we'd end up skinning she would skin fingers and thumbs. And she was so funny about it, because she'd be like, gotcha, because we'd try and, like, hide it, and she would just, it was really crazy, because I could not tell when she was going to do it, and I had really good reflexes, but she would go really fast, and she'd just, boom, grab your hand and just yank it out of your mouth, and she'd be like, I caught you, and it was really funny, but my friend and I, like, we learned not to even put our hands in our mouths around her, because we literally got, like, nasty scrapes on our hands from her pulling. Yeah, but it worked, because she didn't want us to suck our thumbs when we were around her, so we didn't, because we had the risk of eating our own skin.
That sounds horrible. I mean, I guess the lesson worked, but I could not imagine doing that to someone else's kid.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. And my mom, she did it in front of my mom, and my mom laughed, like, because she did think it was funny. Because the way she did it was humorous, and it was, like, she did scare us when she did it, and it was just kind of funny, I was like, wow, oh my god.
It would have been funnier if your mom slapped her kid then. Be like, don't touch my kid or this happens. Wow.
No, my mom knew that my friend was horrifically pitiful and had a horrible childhood ahead of her, so she didn't do that. I remember one time hanging with my friend, and my friend was one of those, like, I didn't know these existed.
Friends?
sad.
That's
I didn't know. Fuck. No, I didn't know that these kind of stereotypes, like, existed. But the whole, like, oh, this girl's a bitch. My friend wasn't a bitch, but there's always that, like, it's usually on Disney Channel. It's like, this girl's really mean because her parents don't pay attention to her, but they shower her with all the shit she wants. My friend was literally like that, minus the bitch part. I really, and as a kid, I didn't really understand, because I was always kind of like, you have all these toys, you have all this stuff, you have a computer room, you have a TV room, you have a fucking Sega in your bedroom. And I was like, that is so cool. And it's funny remembering stuff and just being like, yeah, she had a ton of shit that I would want, but her parents never paid attention to her. And one thing I do remember that when I was a kid, and it made me feel bad as a kid, I think it's when I realized that it was really fucked up what she was going through, is it was her birthday, and she would have her birthday in, like, I don't know, like, a couple times during the week, because her parents were divorced, all that fun stuff. She had a big family. So one time, I got her this present. I remember it's like, Barbie Art Studio. And she opened it. She's like, whoa, thanks. And I was like, okay, cool. She's happy. And she went, because she opened it in her bedroom, and she went to her closet, and she opened her closet, and she had, like, 3 sets of that fucking gift. Like, Barbie Art Studio. She had 3 of them, and they weren't fucking opened yet. not counting mine, so she had 4, and I was like, oh my god, like, as a kid, I just realized, oh, this is, oh, that's, yeah. So, I didn't know that actually existed. I thought that was just, like, I knew it would happen, but not to that length of, like, super stereotypical.
It's not quite the same thing, because we didn't grow up with much money, but I remember the last time I had a birthday party, I think I was 10 years old, and this kid got me this little Lego set, which was like a medieval catapult set. And so I get it, and I open it, and my brother's like, oh, you already have that one right in front of the kid.
Wow.
And I already had that one, but I'm not going to be mean to the kid. I'm trying to be nice, and, like, I don't mind having 2, but I'm like, no, this is different. And my brother's like, no, that's the one you have. I'm like, no, it's different. He's like,
Bro,
no, that's the
shut
exact
up.
one you have. And I'm like, I want to strangle my idiot little brother. Like, no, come on, just go with me. Don't, shut up.
Did you just, like, turn around and go, like, I like this one better, and just yell at him?
No, eventually we talked about something else, I'm sure. My brother really didn't get hints like that or clues or didn't care. Little brothers can be annoying at times. Sometimes they're nice, and sometimes they're like, shut the fuck up. Why did mom and dad have to have you?
Don't hurt my friend's feelings.
I'm joking about that last part. I don't ever say that about my brother. Why did they have to have you?
You know what? So as far as sibling fights go, I don't think I've ever heard that before. I wish they never had you. I remember my brother was like, you're adopted, and I was super excited. I was like, really? I was super excited. And not because I didn't like my family, I was just like, I'm different. And my mom was like, you're not adopted. And I was like, aw. Because I watched so many freaking kung fu movies when I was a kid, and there'd be a lot of, like, the adopted kid, like, you know, his uncle, but it's not really his uncle. They taught him kung fu, and I was like, oh my god, I'm adopted. That means I've got to learn kung fu. And then, yeah. I'm not adopted. What do you know? Life is so unfair.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that you weren't adopted.
Well, I mean, at least I have a good family. For the most part.
Is that going to be like your toast at Christmas? God bless us all. Have a great party. Or family, for the most part, as you stare at one person in the family you're displeased with.
Be like, I'm looking at you, dog. I like my dog, but he could be better. We should disown him from my family. Look at all the pets. Is that right?
You're like, all the chew toys finally for me.
Yep, all the squeaky toys. For me.
Well, I have a question for you.
Well, what is it?
Would you like to do questions?
That was a trick question.
You can say no and I'll put it away. People will be like,
no. No, please. Go on with the questions. I can't think. Oh, wait. Quick story.
Okay.
Because we're full of anecdotes today. See, if someone got bit by a snake, they wouldn't have to worry because we have so many anecdotes. Fuck me. Alright. So, I got the eyebrow dance from Paul there. I almost killed the UPS man while I was mowing the lawn.
Whoa. That's not just I have a small story. I almost murdered a man while mowing the lawn.
Well, it's sort of, it's kind of like...
Were you using a machete because you live in the mountains or something?
I don't live in the jungle, but no, what happened, and I feel really bad, and I'm actually gonna order, it's the way you say it too, you know how the news will be like, oh my god, a disease kills 5, and then you're like, oh, they're all like really old and they're gonna die anyway, sort of thing, you know, they leave stuff out of the
You're not gonna say that about the UPS man. He was old and gonna die anyway. I just happened to drive him over with a mower.
Be like, you're looking a little bushy, sir. No. What happened is I was mowing the lawn and I had gotten home from work and I was really tired and I was all flustered. It was really hot and my makeup was kind of like, I was looking like a flustered sweet southern bella. So basically I looked pretty cool, pretty attractive. And I was mowing the lawn and I was just like, I want to fucking get this done. So I'm pushing the lawnmower and I'm like, sweating. And I see the UPS guy and he's walking up to the patio and I'm kind of on the other side of the lawn so I'm far away from him. And I see him, and I'm not really smiling. This is why I feel really bad, is I was kind of rude, but I didn't mean to be. So he's carrying a ton of stuff, and he's just looking at me while he's walking, and I turn the lawnmower off. And I'm like, do I have to sign for anything? And in the cutest voice possible, he's like, no, I don't think so. And I was like, okay. And I started the lawnmower again, and I just, like, I felt like such a bitch, because I should have said, oh, thank you, but I didn't. So I was mowing the lawn still, and I make another round, you know, and I can see him, and he put all the stuff down on the porch and stuff. And he was a really cute guy, you know, just the way I like him. He was nice and built, very cute, cute face and everything. So I'm just mowing the lawn, doing my thing. It almost sounds like this is gonna go south any second, right? Like he's gonna trip, and then I'm gonna just like mow his face off or something. No. Literally what's happening, and I look up, he's staring at me while he's walking back to his truck. So his face, he's literally looking behind him, just staring at me. And he trips on a rock, and he almost fucking, like, he almost wiped out on our driveway. Like, I thought, oh my god, like, this man, he almost took a nosedive. Like, he saved it by stepping out in front of him, but it looked like it hurt to save himself. And then he, like, did this whole, like, oh, no, I was never looking at you. And then he kind of jogged to his car, and then he left. So I almost killed the UPS man.
He must have been so embarrassed. Poor guy.
He probably was. And I felt really embarrassed, too, though, because I should have said thank you, but I was just so fucking tired, and I was done with the day. So I was like, oh, but I'm gonna order something off of Amazon, and hopefully he comes by so I can be like, oh, so sorry for not saying thank you to you. And then, yeah, because he was so cute, Paul. He's the cutest UPS boy. I'd be like, I move freight, too. well, okay, so I almost killed the UPS guy, but not in the way you might think.
Well, he survived to, you know, deliver another day.
Yep. What does that saying go? If you live... Okay. No, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this shit. Hold on.
Alright.
If you deliver and get away, you live to deliver another day. That's how it goes. Okay. I did it. Hope he delivers another package. His package.
Yeah, but I was gonna say.
I want to have
you
sex
can deliver
with
your
him.
package to me any time of the way.
I've been vaping a lot too, so next time he shows up, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, honey, can I handle your package?"
Well, anybody that's eating, sorry about that. It wasn't my fault.
Yeah, what's the mental image of a decently looking young woman with a decently looking young man doing it? What are you trying to say, Paul?
So you sound like you're hacking up a hairball while you're doing it with the UPS man? Well, if that's what makes you guys happy, I won't judge.
Okay. Well, it depends on what packages and what spot. Okay, okay.
In the back porch, Master Ian says, would you replace any or all of your biological parts with fully functional robotic ones? He says, I know I would.
What are you talking about? You're all mechanical.
Master Ian is?
Yeah.
Are you saying he's got no
his
heart?
pro pic?
He's got nothing but heart. He's always supporting the podcast with questions. I can't believe you would say that about him.
Well, look, he's gonna take us on that date, remember? I was still gonna go. See, your heart. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
You
pizza
remember
or
that, do you?
something, right?
Yeah, there you go. See, Paul doesn't care about your dates.
Hey, I remember the food part. That's the important part.
That is the only reason you remember things is because of the food.
You need to eat. It is a biological imperative to eat.
So you remember where you ate so you can go back there a second time?
Yes.
So you don't die. You can eat there again. Okay. Heck yes, I would have bionic parts. This actually reminds me of Deus Ex Machina. But yeah, totally. I would put springs in my shoes.
Go gadget
like-
feet.
Go gadget feet. Yeah, Penny, I'm gonna spring up to the next floor and watch the lady bathe. Boing. Go gadget.
That wasn't even the shoes.
Sorry. It appears I've sprung a thing, Penny.
Go Robo Wiener.
So yeah, okay, I guess we should be more specific. What part would you, realistically, what part would you, prefer to bionicize? Bionicles.
Honestly,
Do you remember? Oi, man, this is the year of the bionicles. Do you remember that?
I never watched it. I only saw the commercials. I knew some people who were into Bionicles, so...
Mm-hmm. My neighbors were. And they were so Australian for some reason. Not my neighbors, the Bionicles.
I can't say there's anything I would want to replace and make mechanical, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I would think maybe, like, implants, rather. Not in the booby area. No, I mean, like, implants in your ears so you could hear better. And maybe, something put in your eyes so you could see way better. And, like, put to where you could actually have a form of night vision. I think that would be pretty cool. Also, fake teeth. I would be totally down with having teeth that would not be diseased at all, like prone to disease and that sort of thing, and that are stronger, so when they bit down on things, they wouldn't like be wear and tear. I would be totally down for that. Maybe some muscles, implanted muscles, and I don't know, like, well, what else would you fucking what? What are you laughing at? At least I had an answer.
I'm willing to accept my imperfections and be the way I am, and you're like, how about everything? Just, I want to be I want to be Robo-Pixie.
Well, I mean, like, if you, like, it's not really a thing of flaws, like, unless, well, I don't know, it's like, if someone was very hard of hearing, like I am, would you be superiors? Why don't you accept your flaws, Gamerpixie?
Well, no, I'm not judging other people for that. Like, I have a hearing problem. One of my ears does not hear near as well as the other, and I've had that my entire life. Mm-hmm. But, I don't know, that's just who I am. So.
For freezies?
Now, if I was going to go totally deaf and I didn't have another option, then hell yeah,
then you'd do it.
Yeah, or if I was going to be paralyzed and the only way to walk was something like that, then totally I would. But luckily, I'm not in that situation.
True that. Well, I would just get things that would enhance my human senses, and it just depends on... Because the cool thing about that is it depends on what you do for work, right? Because if I worked at a... Are you okay?
Mm-hmm. I'm trying not to sneeze. I'm like, go ahead, we're doing the podcast. I'm just trying not to sneeze, and you're like, what's going on? What's wrong? I'm trying not to draw attention to it.
Well, if you try not to draw attention to it... I wish I could play a video of what you just did, because if you did that on a fucking bus, you would have everyone, including the bus driver's attention, okay?
I was just trying not to sneeze into the mic, and you're like, you look like you're having a seizure, old man. I think his time has come. Time to bury him and play with his tongue. No, I'm not the hummingbird.
Play with it. Why would I bury you, then play with your tongue? That sounds... Do I bury you and then pull
you back up? It's more creepy that you would think of that as like, no, I'm going to play with you first and then bury you. This is the system.
Well, I don't want to do it twice. Dig. Yeah, so, depends on what I'm doing for work, too, because I'm all into that bionic stuff. I love it. I really do. And whenever I play Deus Ex Machina, I always go on the side of the artificial things. But I do the whole, like, oh, you should be able to choose. And then there's 4 endings, I guess, so whatever. Yeah. I'm also into Robo Man. Who would think? Who would have thought that I think guys who are part made of machine are pretty hot? Robo-Rena? Rabina? Sounds like a girl robot.
Well, I'm sure someday there will be robo-sex slaves, and people will be used to that.
That's still...
Yeah, people in your state, brain, someday creepy. There's going to be the old ladies, back in my day, you could get a job. The robots, all our jobs are the robo-ginas. It's hard, man. That's got 1,000 RPMs. Can't beat that.
It sends a little jolt of electricity.
I don't want
when you turn her off. It's a training robo-sex bot. Okay. With you know what? If Microsoft comes out with this, I'm sure it'll be shocking you the whole time.
If Microsoft comes out with it, it's going to break half the time or freeze, or they'll have an update make it not work. There was an article today that I posted on Facebook that with the Windows 10 anniversary update, they've made it so millions of webcams don't work with Skype and stuff.
Oh, well, Paul, that's obviously the update. You see, it made it better. People were complaining about quality while using Skype. Now they just made it so you can't use it at all. There you go. That's really fucking stupid. Whatever.
Or if you think, because Microsoft is horrible at quality assurance. If you think about when the Xbox 360 came out and the Red Ring of Death, they had a huge failure rate. Do you want to be, giving it your robo-sex toy person and have it, like, start a fire? You don't want to be like, oh, it burned my crotch off. That seems like a problem.
Be like your lady, and it's just like, oh my god, that's like sleepaway camp with the heating iron and the lady died. Ooh. Have you ever seen sleepaway camp?
No.
Oh. Well, I don't want to spoil it for you, but Angela's a boy? That's all I have to say. Continue. That's what the last line of that movie is.
Let's do the next question.
Wait, whoa. Was that the rest of his question?
Yeah.
Is that all of it?
Well, unless you had more to add to it. If you had more to add to it, go for it.
How do you like being a robot man?
I don't want to be a robot man. Did you
I'm
not
talking
listen
to
to my
Master
answer?
Ian.
Oh.
Talking to Master Ian.
He's not. He was part of the podcast. He left a question.
Well,
do we sit here silently for 5 minutes and wait for him to show up?
Oh, for fuck's sake. Stop being a little bitch. I'm saying leave a comment below.
Why? I'm doing the podcast with you. Why do I have to leave a comment?
What would you rather? Okay. Alright. Let's see. Do you want me to go there, Sonny? I too can play at this. Okay, what parts of you would you like bionitized?
I just said I don't want any.
Fuck you, Paul. I'm talking to Master Ian. Next question.
Yeah, it would be interesting, Master Ian, if you let us know which one you said you would. But please
Since
mention the
you're all robot.
question, because otherwise if you were just like, my arm, I'm going to be like, what's he talking about?
Well, I'll know, because I actually care, Master Ian.
Kid Kingpin says, What's up, guys and gal? I'm not sexist.
Oh, yeah, you are. Continue.
I've got a question for you. What is your favorite superhero movie and why? And what is your least favorite superhero movie and why?
Well, the least superhero movie list spans, in fact, you might say that all superhero movies are on that list. I'm gonna try and be positive though and say the first. You know what? I'm gonna be honest. Paul and I we were talking about this not too long ago. And I have to say, honestly, the reason I don't like superhero movies is, one, they're either done, like, just pretty horribly, to be honest. And the ones that are done well, kind of well, are very formulaic, and you know what's going to happen, you kind of know what to expect, and there's never really a change in, I don't know, like, rhythm and stuff. I don't really want to say plot, because it's like, oh, you watch a Batman movie, and then you know what the villain is. It's either, like, the Joker or, like, Penguin or whatever, and it's like, oh, I wonder what he's going to do in the movie. Fucking fight the villain and stuff. But the creative ways of, like, showing that, and I think the comics are probably a lot more complex, but it kind of seems like you just get the same thing, and really crappiness at that. So it's hard for me to pick. I have to pick the one that I can tolerate, if that makes any sense, because I really don't like superhero movies at all. But I don't know. And I'm gonna kind of cheat here and ask Paul what his favorite one is, because Paul and I have similar taste in movies, so I'm just kind of wondering if he'll bring up one that I have forgotten. Like, what's your favorite superhero movie?
Can I start with least favorite?
Oh, please do.
That's more difficult for me for least favorite, because I don't know, because when superhero films are done well, they're decent. That's like anything, but there's so many of them that are not done well.
Yeah.
So if I had to pick least favorite, some people are going to be mad. It's either going to be the Thor movie, and that's not fair, because I watched 5 minutes of it. Maybe it was 7 minutes. I watched 7 minutes of it, I'm like, bored, done. And maybe if I would have watched more, it would have been okay, but I was like, you lost me. You weren't even trying.
I watched about 20 minutes, but I didn't see, like, from the beginning or the end, so it was, like, in the middle. And I didn't like it. It was just really boring, like you said, so.
And then I think the one that I would maybe say more so, though I haven't watched all of it either, is the old Punisher film. Because that thing is just so... Like, they're missing all the icon stuff of Punisher, and it's not a good film.
Which one is that you're talking about? Like, when was it shot?
I don't know the exact year.
80s?
I think it was in the 80s.
Oh, dude, I like that one because it's so bad.
But it is bad. It is bad.
It is really bad. And the guy who plays Punisher is, like, really... He's handsome. And the whole movie's freaking... Is that the movie where, like, they're having dinner in his apartment and they're, like, waiting and then he, like, busts through the wall because he's fighting with that one guy? Because that does happen in a Punisher movie, and that's probably that one, because what they were wearing seemed very 80-ish. I don't think that Punisher movie was supposed to be serious. I feel like that's the Beyond Thunderdome of Punisher movies. I really do.
I think it's just, though, that you have more appreciation for bad films. You can watch a bad film and be like, I can enjoy how bad this is and how they've failed.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, that's when I say my favorite. I don't mean the quality of the film is good. Like, my favorite superhero may be Steel, because I really, really like that film. The whole missile launching ex-cop in a wheelchair thing is, like, that's pretty awesome, okay? Especially since, like, because that's his partner does that. She gets, I don't remember exactly what happens to her, but she ends up in a wheelchair. And then she busted at the end, and she has, like, missiles coming out of her wheelchair. And it's pretty cool, honestly. And then Shaquille O'Neal is my weak spot. I love that guy. But that's not my favorite movie, but it's definitely up there. Did you see Steel?
I have not, no.
Oh, I hope I didn't spoil anything.
No, I was not going to go watch Steel, so you didn't ruin anything for me.
It's hilarious, though.
I would say another one I could put in the least favorite, but this is not totally fair, would be The Watchmen. And that's because I didn't want to go see it, and my ex dragged me to it. I'm like, like if you read the comics, maybe you'd really get it, but if you weren't familiar with the world, it's really not a great film. And I'm like, I gotta sit here for hours, and there's a blue dong. This film is boring to me.
Forgot about the boo ding dong.
And part of it, though, is, if you like that film, cool. It's, my ex dragged me to it, and just,
He was like, so you didn't want to see it anyway, and then you were forced to see it, so you're kind of like...
But that's one of those things where it's like, I can't totally say it's the film, it's some of the... Like, we've all, I'm sure when you've dated somebody, had someone you date be like, you gotta watch this film, and you're like, I don't see what you see in this.
Yeah, my boyfriend was like, or my ex was like, we should go watch The Hobbit twice. 1 in 3D. And I was like, oh, good day. I didn't like the Hobbit movie. It wasn't a very good superhero movie either.
It was disappointing.
It was really disappointing. Especially since it was marketed like... That's probably the best warning, though, is when something's overhyped and then you don't actually see a lot of content from it, if that makes any sense. Like, with Lord of the Rings, the trailers was like, oh my gosh, this looks really cool. And then with the Hobbit, it was like, yeah, okay, this might be good. But we're not talking about The Hobbit, I digress. I tried to watch Spider-Man, the old one, and I couldn't do it. I could not do it. Like, it's just so... I'm sorry if anyone likes this, but they're so fucking bad. Like, they make me so uncomfortable because the lines and, like, just the emotion, the direction. I hate Peter Parker. He's so wussy and weird and awkward, and his girlfriend's annoying.
Is that the Tobey Maguire ones you're talking about?
Yeah. The newer one looks bad, too. I didn't watch it, though. But from what I did see from it, it looked like it was, like, enjoyable because it was bad. I can't even enjoy the old Spider-Mans because they're just too bad. I can't do it. Venom was hot, though. When he had his costume on.
You need your own YouTube channel where you review movies, but you don't review the movie. It's like, is it hot or is it not? This character was hot. Gamerpixie gives it 3 boners up. This one was 3 not. Droopy wang for him.
I don't know if I've ever seen a superhero movie where I was like, well, legitimately, that guy's hot. Because I never thought Peter Parker in the newer old one was hot, and Superman was never hot to me, no matter who played him. I guess Punisher in that old film was pretty hot.
I'll admit, I never got into Superman films. It just doesn't work. Like, Batman films, you got really good bad guys, so there's balance to the story, but Superman, it's just not my thing.
Super lame. Do Power Rangers count as superheroes?
No, they count as super lame.
What? No, they're not super lame.
Yep. How old were you when you first saw the Power Rangers?
I don't remember, but I was pretty young. I was probably 4.
When was the last time you watched the Power Rangers?
Maybe, I don't know, 6 months ago?
Okay. So most people will go back and watch it and be like, this show really did suck.
Oh, it was bad, but I knew it was bad when I was a kid, and I still loved it. I love Bulk and Skull. That was their theme. They were like a Bebop and Rocksteady, but way less interesting. Fuck. You know what?
The Turtles should count as superheroes.
They should, and they had a really good show. And I actually recently, because Netflix is beautiful, I ordered and watched Ninja Turtles 2, which is my favoriteest movie, and gosh, that is such a cute movie. But yeah, they should count because they're tons of funses and they fight crime, so they're kind of like superheroes. I think they're that like weird. We're not superheroes, but we do affect the community in a positive way, like strongly. I don't know, because then Nancy Drew would be like a superhero, right?
No, she doesn't know. What?
Yeah, she would.
My
She like
favorite
does.
superhero is Hercule Poirot. Remember when he solved the case of the missing book?
The missing book. Oh, come on, Hercule Poirot saved lives.
It's true.
So did Nancy Drew.
Yeah,
And
I
Nancy
like
Drew has
Hercule
the
Poirot.
power. Dude. She has the power to die and then come back. Tell me that's not a superpower.
I think that's in the game, but not the books, isn't it? Is there one where she comes back from the dead?
There is. She like dies and Ned's like, please God, don't take my girlfriend. And then he buries his face in her chest and then she comes back to smack him. And she fights crime in River Heights and has sex with Chief McGinnis.
She has sex in a book?
No,
Oh.
but we can dream, can't we?
Do you write Nancy Drew fanfiction? I'm sure there's people who do.
Oh, there probably are, and I haven't read it yet because I don't want them to desecrate my dear darling.
Iron Man. I like the first Iron Man film. Jon Favreau does good films.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I was like, Iron Man was actually I don't even like Iron Man as a character. He doesn't really interest me, but that movie was legitimately good. Like I sat down and I was like, you know what? For a superhero movie, and I don't even like this character that much. I liked the movie. I thought it was good. It was interesting. It had suspense in it. It had comedy. It also had like a drama, and just Robert Downey Jr. he's really good.
Yeah, excellent casting. And I love Jon Favreau films. He's the guy who directed that. He did the Lion King remake they did recently. He did Chef. I love that film. He did
Chef.
Swingers back in the day.
You've seen Chef?
Yeah, about the guy with the...
That's hilarious. The taco car truck.
Yeah, well, it's Cubanos that they're selling the sandwiches.
I know, but I think it's funny that you've seen Chef.
Yeah, I followed Jon Favreau on
you've seen
Twitter.
it.
Like, I was like waiting for it to come out when Chef came out. I was like, I want to see that. That looks so good.
That's hilarious. That's so funny. I did not know you've seen that. Well, does Neil Breen films count? He's kind of a superhero. I love his films, which I can't remember the name of, because they're all kind of like a compilation of things he would do, and then he separated them into films. Like, Double Down is really good. Yeah, well, I could really go on about... Like, it's funny, too, because I bet people are like, what, you didn't like the Batman films? Yeah, I liked the... Oh, God, I wish I could remember, too, because I can't remember exactly. It's not the Tim Burton's Batman. Like, I really do like that one, but as a movie, like, when I watch it, I'm like, this isn't the best Batman movie, but it's definitely one of my favorites. There's another one, though. Who plays Batman in, like, the better Batman movie that I think was before the Tim Burton one?
Adam West in, like, the original
Oh, no.
one? I love that
No,
film.
no.
That's not my favorite, but I love the old campy one with Adam West.
Me too. I have that on DVD. I really like that. With Commodore Schmidlab. And Cesar Romero is the Joker, which is great.
When they crash the helicopter and Batman tries to take credit for it because they land on those foam mattresses, he's like, I have to admit, I kind of saw it out of the corner of my eye, something like that.
I like he gets bitten. There's like a shark that bites him and he needs the shark repellent. Yeah,
you know,
that was adorable.
All these superhero films, what one are we talking about specific parts? The old classic Batman.
Mm-hmm. Well, because, like, it's casted well and it's more satirical. I feel like comedy, well, no, you can't actually say comedy is easier because it's not. Like, a lot of people have made really, really shitty comedy films. So, yeah, I guess that does hold up. Because a lot of people will be like, oh, what about the Christian Bale Batmans? I'm like, they're not... I don't like them, and honestly, I really don't think they're that good at movies. The first one was like, whatever, fucking origin story, and it's kind of shot well, like, it looks nice.
I'll admit I enjoyed that, but I felt like it kind of took a downward arc where the next one wasn't quite as good, and the next one...
It wasn't.
Especially when they changed Bane. Bane's supposed to be, like, Latino or whatever, and who was it, Tom Hardy or whatever that played him, and I love Tom Hardy, but just, I was like, really?
It's miscasted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a fucking luchador mask!
I know. And yeah, definitely, because that's the second movie. Because the only reason people were like, "Oh, I love the second Batman," is because of Heath Ledger.
There were good
And
moments
the
in
Joker.
it for sure.
Yes, but no, like, well, I this is a pet peeve of mine. Like, I really did not like Batman in the second movie. I really didn't like him because he's like, "Oh, I can't kill people." And like, you've done it in the comics, and you totally could have killed the Joker, and it wasn't believable to me that he's like, "Oh my God, Joker, you're so mean. Oh, I can't kill you." It's like, you broke someone's legs, like in another part of the movie. Didn't you just break his legs? And it's just it's beyond. I know it's a superhero movie, but it's kind of beyond belief when like Batman will injure people fucking horribly. And then with the Joker, he's like, "I'm just gonna beat you up but not render you, like, so you can't move because then you wouldn't kill people and I wouldn't be able to save the day." Yeah. But Heath Ledger was like really, really good in that, and he was so marketable, and he was really enjoyable. Like, the Joker was a good character, but the movie wasn't like, if Heath Ledger wasn't in the movie, I'm pretty sure that movie would be not good at all because I didn't actually like it. That doesn't mean it's not good, but there was other little pet peeves, like the loose plot and everyone being like, "Oh, Batman, you should have known about my boyfriend going to do something bad. I'm so mad at you because he went by himself and did it, but it's your fault that he did it." And you're just like, can we stop forcing this conflict up my ass right now, please? Gosh, we're being butt fucked with conflict. It's so stupid. And then the third one, like you said, is just like, why? Stop it! Stop making these. So when people ask me, because I get that a lot when people ask, they're like, "You didn't like the new Batmans?" I'm like, no.
I'll admit, I
Sorry.
like Batman Begins, and I enjoyed the second one, but the last one that they did, the Nolan one, I'll admit I was disappointed by it.
Yeah. When they, I don't know, since I didn't really like the second one that much, besides just seeing Heath Ledger be like, cool, because they fucked up toothpaste. Batman came face to face with toothpaste. Yeah, they fucked him up, and he is one of my favorite villains. So
Thanks to the animated series, he was my favorite villain because he wasn't just bad; he was conflicted. So there was some interesting interpersonal, struggle.
plus, he was fucking scary. The cartoon made him look really scary, and he was convincing. He's a pretty big, scary dude. Yeah, like you said, conflicting. The reason scary stands out is because I was a child when I saw that. But yeah, he was like one of my favorite. Plus, he was like more human, I think.
Then human?
Whoa! Half human, half burnt, crisp. I don't know. But he was more human in my opinion than like the Joker. So I thought
Me too.
I liked him for that. Yeah. So when they fucked him up and they made him, why did they cast that dude to be Two-Face? That was dumb. I didn't like that guy. I was like, no, honey, movie, no, don't do that. And nothing against, well, that actor, he's not. I think that was a miscasting as well because I didn't think he was a really good actor in that. But yeah, so that's my take on the Batman movies. There's another Batman movie though, not Batman and Robin. Did you know that was my favorite Batman movie when I was a little kid?
I did not.
The one was like, chill.
I have never seen that whole thing. I've only seen part of it.
I watched it so much as a kid because my neighbors had it and we always watched it together. We loved it. Arnold Schwarzenegger was so funny. He played Mr. Freeze and he made him funny, even though Mr. Freeze is like a really tragic like character. And they're like, no, let's make him that guy. He's like, chill, cool down. And you're just like, please kill yourself, movie. But it was fun. Poison Ivy was in it. She made
Are you okay?
Sorry, I accidentally coughed out my cyanide pill.
Uh,
It was gonna kill. This was gonna be the last podcast. It's gonna be the suicide podcast.
that's depressing.
Well, sometimes you gotta take life by the horns by letting go of the horn. Oh my god, so insensitive. Yeah, I guess Iron Man.
I would say that my absolute favorite superhero movie I've ever seen, and I think it's still on Netflix, is it's called Super. It's got Rainn Wilson in it, and I think it's Ellen Page. Was that the girl from Juno?
Yeah.
And I know you're not like the biggest fan of hers in some things.
Yeah.
But it's a film where he's a total loser. Like that's not like you see that in plots, but he's a total loser, and one day he has like a literal vision that he needs to go fight crime. But he's a total loser, so his superpower is a pipe wrench.
Aw.
And it's
I like that.
I don't want to give too much away, but it has some really good moments about like how boring it would be to actually fight crime, just sitting there and waiting. And of course, hitting people with a pipe wrench. I like that because I'm lowbrow. And it has some really dark moments. It's a dark comedy, so it's definitely not going to be for everyone. And I don't want to say much more than that because I don't want to give it away for anyone that would be interested in it. But it's called Super, and it's my favorite because it's dark and it's funny, and it's got, in some ways, more realistic takes on what it would be like if somebody decided to be a superhero. Oh, and Kevin Bacon's in it. Who doesn't like bacon?
Kevin Bacon?
Yeah, I believe he's in
way.
it too.
Oh, damn. I will have to check it out. What is that movie, though? You made me think of it, because they were talking about, like, normal dude and visions. What was that Shyamalan movie? With not Samuel Jackson.
Unbroken, Unbreakable, Breakable, something like that.
It's Unbreakable, right?
Yeah.
That's not one of his finer films. In fact, that's probably that is when he was going downhill. But I thought it was kind of like, it's not my favorite, but I was like, it's worth mentioning. It's a fun film the first time.
Yeah, I did not like that film. My brother,
I thought it was okay.
My brother has it, and my brother loves it. And he's like, "You gotta watch this," and I was like,
"Yeah,
this isn't my thing now."
Yeah, when I watched it the first time, I was like, "Cool," and now every time I rewatch it, I'm like, "Okay, it was like good the first time." Definitely not one of Shyamalan's best film. Well, I don't know. Shyamalan's such a joke now. It's hard to say like if it's just preference or is it subjective or objective.
I think you set yourself up for that when you get to be the guy who does the twist ending. After a while, people are like, "What else can you do to blow our minds?" And you can't live up to that expectation sooner or later.
I feel like he kind of fails intentionally because there are times when people will review his films and then they'll be like, "Here's the twist that you should have done," and they say it in like one sentence and it's 10 times better than what he did. So I'm like, but it's just as simple. I don't know. Shyamalan is kind of like, if you watch his interviews, you're like, "Yo, dude, stop. You're pulling a little Kanye West, aren't you?"
What was his big one with the dead people?
Sixth Sense. That was another Bruce Willis.
See, I didn't
movie.
get that one, and we've talked about this on the podcast before.
Yeah.
I thought he was dead the whole time because I was like,
too.
He shot himself. And like most people didn't realize that, and I've said it before on the podcast. I'm like, not like, I haven't felt smart. It's just like, I thought he shot himself. So at the end, I wasn't surprised. I'm like, yeah, I know. He's been dead the whole time. So
You're like, he's dead? What?
And once again,
my God.
I'm not knocking people who were surprised. Like, I get people being surprised, but for me, there was like no dun 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 moment. I'm just like, yeah, that's what we've been watching the whole time.
Yeah, seriously. Ironically, like that's one of my favorite films that he's done, and there was no twist because I knew he was dead too. Because I was like, oh, he shot himself. That usually happens when you die, and the fact that he was able to see. Okay, sorry, I was spoiler alert. Although, like when you watch it, you probably would assume the same thing. But when the kid was like, "I see dead people," and then he turns and he sees dead people, I'm like, well, he's probably fucking dead then, or he's just a kid inside. And then no one else talks to him and stuff. So, whatever. Yeah. But I thought that was one of Shyamalan's best films. Way better than Signs. But we strayed from superhero movies. Like I said, I can't think of least favorite, all of them.
It's tough with superhero movies, though, I think, to make good ones. If you look at the old classic Batman TV show, they meant to start it seriously, but it's such a crazy idea. People running around in tights with capes, and it ended up becoming a comedy. I mean, so I think it's a subject matter that when it's done right, it's super fun, but it's hard to pull off right.
Well, maybe they should, like, stop taking themselves so seriously, or just stop doing, like, live action. You know what I'm saying? Because Batman animated actually being serious was good, you know? But when you kind of do, like, the serious, and it's, like, Batman in real life, it kind of looks stupid that a guy is jumping around a New York City wannabe wearing little horns on his hat, like, and driving stupid-ass bulky cars. He's like, "Oh, I'm Batman, I'm a trained ninja, let me jump into my fucking... You cops are gonna pull me over because I didn't put that little thing on your car that makes it quieter." No, okay, that's just a pet peeve of mine, but... I don't know, I feel like superhero movies take themselves too seriously. That's why Iron Man was actually kind of fun because it knew when to be like, this is silly.
That's what I was looking forward to that, because Favreau is really good at doing stories. Like, you've seen Chef, that get to the heart of who a character is. And I think that's what ties any good story together. And Iron Man, the original one's got that.
I saw parts of Deadpool, by the way, and I was just like, oh. I was like, oh, it's an okay movie, but it reminds me of a lot of other movies that I've seen. Probably because it was Marvel, but whatever. They make a lot of the same movies. I'm not trying to be a bitch.
Well, it's the perfect thing for Hollywood, because Hollywood doesn't like to take a lot of new risks. So they're like, hey, comic books, they've got a built-in fan base, and these other ones did good, we'll make more comic book
It's got
movies.
a built-in fan, cools you down. Oh, fuck. We're both silly with words today. Suicide Squad looked fucking horrible, and then I saw, like, someone reviewed it, and then they played a fair amount of clips from it, and I was like, okay, this looks really fucking horrible. And they said it was horrible, and I was like, I'm just not gonna see it, and I'm gonna assume that it's not my cup of tea. Plus, I like Harley Quinn a lot, and I really don't like the way they did Harley Quinn. I really don't like the way they did Harley Quinn, dude.
I'll admit, I felt frustrated too, because if you're like me and you grew up on the animated series where Harley Quinn is such an amazing character,
she's great.
and then to see what Hollywood does so much with, like, let's take off clothes and just totally sexualize her. It's
and let's make her a ditzy, just catchphrase, like, for girls who go to Hot Topic to be like, lol, MFAO, I said what she said, that's all she's there for. I'm sorry, that is personal.
No, I went on a rant about it the other day. It's just like,
Seriously.
It's like, if you had her maybe in her original costume and let the character just come through, then that's different, but...
Yeah, did you notice that in the cartoon? It's a fucking cartoon. It's 2D. That character, I like how she was sexy, right? In the cartoon, she was super sexy. But she wore her Jester's outfit, right? And, like, that covers her body. It contours her body, but I'm just making
almost
making
totally
the point.
covered.
Yeah, and I'm making the point that she was bursting with fucking personality, and she was another complex, like, conflicted character. And for Hollywood, well, why am I surprised? But for Hollywood to be like, oh, she's a fucking crazy, sexy bimbo lady who hangs upside down in a cage drinking tea. Oh, isn't she so kooky? And it's not like, no, she's actually really conflicted inside whether or not she wants to be a normal person, and the Joker's a dick to her. She loves him. Like, no, it's just like...
Yeah, it's an abusive relationship. The odd thing is, the animated series ended up doing a much better job in character development and complex characters than a lot of films have done.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I don't know... I know why that is, because the cartoon was more like, if you like Batman, like, if you read the comics, then you're probably going to watch the cartoons. Whereas with the movies, it's like, we've already established a brand for people who haven't even read the comics. So we're just gonna create, and Hot Topic is like the reason these movies flourish. I swear to God. I'm sorry, but that's like the Joker looking like a meth head lesbian lady. He's like okay with me. I'm like, whatever. But when you fuck with Harley Quinn, you make her some dumb blonde bimbo asshat. I'm only here for like catchphrases. You've gone too far. That's one of my favorite characters next to Two-Face.
I think you brought up a great point. Like, I don't read comic books, that's not my thing, but I would think if you're really into comic books, there's probably hardly any other fan base that so gets the fuck you from Hollywood as people who are comic book fans. Hey, this character you love, we're gonna just kind of whitewash them for mass appeal.
Yep, and it's just like, oh, thanks, that character. And that's the funny thing, too, is they're like, well, you always, don't get too upset about it. Like, you always have the original that you can go to. It's like, but you still, that's funny, isn't it? So current with the fucking Ghostbuster thing.
Yes.
But it's like, it still ruins that part, and it exists, and it ruins, like, it's like adding a stigma to something. You're like, thanks, now you just made this worse because I know this exists, and you're shitting on the original. And I am not talking about Ghostbusters, even though you could totally switch out.
Can we officially say it's flopped now? Because they said they're going to lose maybe $70 million on that, possibly.
I'm so happy about that, too. Fuck you, Sony! Fuck you! Yeah, I'm so happy about that, too. Say it's internalized misogyny. I love having men in me, so you're right, okay? Fuck y'all, nitty-ass, stupid... idiots who can't take fucking criticism on your piece of shit. There you go. I'm gonna go out and find me a woman with dyed hair and slap her.
Oh, damn.
I'm gonna slap myself because I'm gonna dye my hair in like 2 days. But you know what I'm saying. This is political commentary with Gamerpixie. I don't give a fuck what people think. But I'm so glad. Like when I saw, like they were like they spent, was it like 60 million? It was up there. It's like 30 million or something. How much was it? Hold on.
I thought production costs were like 140 some million, and then I thought advertising.
And they only got like 30 or 60.
Was 100 more. I forget.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna look this up. Talk to the folks while I look this up. Come on. Ghostbusters 2000. Are you gonna talk?
I'm just waiting for you to do your research. You're just talking about slapping people, so I'm scared over here.
Derp. Well,
she's gonna beat me, everybody. Call the police.
IMDb 5.5 out of 10. Yeah, right. I wonder if that's someone being like, we don't want to be called sexist. 73 on Rotten Tomatoes. Whoever trusts them though. Rotten Tomatoes is a piece of rotten shit. See what I did there?
Yeah, I did.
Fucking okay. I'm looking this up. Box office analysis.
Analysis?
The Hollywood Reporter. Analysis. So much analysis. Oh, Paul Feig. How do you say his name? Fig? Faye?
I don't know. It's going to get me into trouble if I try it, so I'm going to not try it.
Paul Feig. Faye? Well, I just did that. Send your hate mail to me, not Paul. Faye. Okay, well, this is... You know what I love is when you go to, like, learn something, and then you read an article, and it's basically, I'm sucking the dick of what I'm talking about. It's like, you're not really giving me any information. You're just sucking the dick. You're like, whoa, isn't it cool that they got this much money? Okay, talk to the folks, baby. Come on. It won't take that long, I swear.
Alright, what am I going to talk to the people about? That was everything. I was going to say goodbye, actually.
Oh, okay, so in 62 million on Friday, for an estimate 3 day, 21 million, and a total drop of 55%. This will hold. What? A disastrous result given the film's $250 million?
Yeah, like I said, because it was like advertising was about 100 million, and I think production was 140 million or so.
What were they spending this money on?
The director Paul said that they thought they'd have to bring in 500 million to be a success. Sony said they had to bring in like 300 million to like break even, and it doesn't look like they're going to be close to that.
The only money they got is from advertising, in my opinion. Like, you know, worth of like what was most lucrative. Yeah, so they only got like 86 million. In 10 days, they got 86 million out of $250 million. That's good. Good! I'm so happy about that. If y'all, like, if you're wondering, actually, I don't know why everyone would wonder, it's pretty well known, but if you don't, just, you could look up that whole thing. But Gamerpixie is so happy. So that's it. All I had to do is look that up. I hope you enjoyed your little conversation with Paul while I was looking it up.
So at the end, we found a happy note. We're glad that they failed.
Yes, I am. You know what? They were all attacking people and shit for not liking their film. I'm really happy that they failed, because you should never attack other people for having a different opinion.
When Sony got hacked and they leaked the emails, some of the emails got leaked too, were Sony executives that said if Bill Murray didn't come in and do a cameo, they're going to threaten to sue him. So, like, ever since reading that, I'm like, yeah, you should fail. You're a bunch of assholes.
Seriously. And then like, you know what? And I was gonna be like, oh, it doesn't matter if you think that. No, this is not subjective. This is objective. I love AVGN, James Rolfe, and they attacked him saying he was sexist, and he wasn't. And I hate them, and I hope they fail. A lot more to come, because you should never fucking attack the angry video game nerd for something so fucking stupid. And yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed podcast number 29, where we talked about dead hummingbirds and robotic men. Still looking forward to that robotic date, Mr. Yin. I know Paul isn't, but don't worry, I'll give you my full attention. Paul will eat the pizza while we talk.
I'll give that pizza its full attention. I'll go down on you. Delicious.
The pizza, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Who else would I be talking to?
You have to specify we're on a date with 2 people, 3 people.
That's weird.
It's weird to be on
That's when
dates.
I take the pizza and walk away, and then I come back and take the other pizza and walk away too. Forgot some.
You're a caution. Alright, you guys. Thanks for listening. It's been fun talking to you, Paul.
It's been fun hanging out with you, and thanks for hanging out, everybody. Hope you all have a great week.
Okay, bye.